Do you want your Airbnb to be booked out the majority of the year? Here are my 5 things you should always do to ensure it happens. Hi, my name's Anna and I run an Airbnb here in the beautiful Devon countryside. I've been running it for 2 years. I have over 50 5-star reviews. I'm a Superhost and I also have over 120 10-star reviews on booking.com. If you're new to this channel, make sure you like and subscribe for more useful videos like this showing you how you can make sure your Airbnb is booked out for the majority of the year. Here are the 5 things that I always do for our guests to ensure complete satisfaction and that we constantly get booked again and again. Tip number 1, we're going to start in the kitchen, making sure that it's always fully stocked for guests. So what I mean here is for every single guest we provide tea, coffee, sugar. We have a coffee machine, so I always provide enough capsules. In the cupboards, I then also provide little kind of sachets of ketchup, mayonnaise, and brown sauce, just because you're not going to bring bottles of that when you come and stay somewhere, so those sachets are there. There's then different types of tea that people can have, some pasta, and then some flour for cooking. And then in the fridge, I always provide a little thing of milk, some bread, and then a little pot of jam, and then some little things of butter. I get the sachets for the condiments and the jam just off Amazon, so buying it in bulk, and then I get the little butter from a specific sort of local farm that makes little ones that you can use. As well as that, I also provide tea towel. I then also make sure there's a cloth and then one of these as well. And then I make sure that there's dish soap and hand soap. I make sure the bin has a new liner in it. And then under the sink, I always provide an extra liner and then also a food caddy for where people can put sort of food waste. So those are the things I do for every single guest. And a lot of my reviews reflect that people appreciate having the bread, the milk, the butter, the jam, and anything extra, especially when they've come a long way and they may not have been able to pick something up. It's a small cost to do it every single time. If they don't use it, if it's within date, you can then leave it for other guests. Otherwise, we'll always have plenty of milk and butter in our house. But that is the first thing that I always do. Tip number 2. Always provide information for guests in the style of booklet that you can leave in the annex. On Airbnb, you can also leave this as information within the booking so that people can look at it before they arrive, but I also have the same information in there. This is a booklet I built on Canva and then I've just put in here, so I print it off and update it every so often, so it has just all of the information they need, contact details. It then also has information about local restaurants, places to stay, brunch spots, takeaway, and then dog parks. This is really useful to include. We get this question a lot because we allow pets. And then just checkout information, so it's all there when they arrive. That way, if they have any questions, it can usually be answered in the booklet. If not, I always make sure they know that they can contact me directly, either come and knock on our door next door or just send me a message or a text or a WhatsApp, and I'll be available to answer their questions as quick as possible. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, make sure you're always providing for families. So when we send out the automated message after the booking, we will ask if people would like a cot and a high chair. So we already have a cot and a high chair from my daughter from when she was small, so we kept hold of them. So we can offer those up. So it's a travel cot and then a really decent sized high chair. And we actually get feedback from guests a lot that they really appreciated that because they didn't want to necessarily bring their own. So if you're able to do that, you're able to store it somewhere maybe within your Airbnb or next door if it's attached, then make sure you do that, just because it's really useful for guests to have and they definitely appreciate it. And then the other thing we also do is provide in the kitchen some cutlery for kids. So a bowl, a plate, and then some little kids utensils as well. Tip number 3, providing for families. Tip number 4, provide plenty of towels for people. I know this sounds obvious, but we do find that guests appreciate having lots of nice fluffy towels during their stay. How I get them fluffy, I do have a tumble dryer and I think that makes a big difference. It keeps them nice and fluffy for a good amount of time, and then once they start to lose that fluff, I'll just replace them. I use Dunelm for my towels because they're really affordable. You get some lovely colours, but yeah, making sure they have plenty of fluffy towels is really important. And then I always provide 2 towels, so we've got a big body towel and then probably one for face or hair. And then within the bathrooms themselves, I provide all the mats you would need, and then an additional hand towel, and then another thing, plenty of toilet paper and things like that for guests. So that's tip number 4. Lots of fluffy, lovely towels for people. You can never have too many towels for your guests. And if they start to sort of lose their fluffy and their niceness, just replace them. You can put that expense against your Airbnb. So that was tip number 4. Tip number 5, final piece of advice, and this is probably the most important one. If you can, make sure that your Airbnb is flexible with the bedding arrangements. Let me show you what I mean. This room here is a twin, but it also can be a king. So we can push those 2 beds together and it can be a king or a twin. It's very simple, but it makes a huge difference for our bookings. We get a lot of families, people here with business, maybe friends staying, and they appreciate having that flexibility. They're lovely beds, they're from IKEA, and people just really appreciate having that option. I think we get so many more bookings because we provide that for guests. So definitely something to consider when you're creating your Airbnb is having that flexibility for guests. So those are my 5 things every Airbnb host should be doing to ensure you get booked all year round. They're all simple things you can do, but it makes a huge, huge difference for your bookings. I hope you found this content useful. Let me know if you would like further videos like this. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all of that, but let me know in the comments below if you have any of your questions or anything that you do as an Airbnb host that your guests have loved. But I will see you in the next one.